kept the roof up and the rear window down because you actually wouldn't be able to hear a word I'm saying. But this is the beauty of this car, is that it has almost all of the attributes of the coupe. The most, I think, iconic and standout feature for me of the 600 is the placement of the exhaust. Now, even in the coupe, thanks to the introduction of thinner, lighter glass and the fact that they've taken the exhausts from the rear bumper and stuck them about 3 feet from your head, automatically that sense of occasion, that sense of drama and sound is already heightened to no end. But with this car, you can keep the roof up and drop the window down, and it is direct port ear hole injection from that wonderful flat plane crank V8. Now, what's fantastic about McLaren's when they introduce spider versions of their cars, there is no loss of structural integrity because we're based, listen to that, because we are still based, of course, around their incredible carbon tubs. Listen to this. Now, let's face it, I think the McLaren range has always been somewhat criticized because they've never really sounded that exotic. It wasn't until they started launching the LT editions that things started to get a little bit spicy. And then, of course, when you take the roof off the things, all of that is amplified even further. Now, I had the honor of being able to bring you guys the first drive experience of the 600LT Coupe last year. All of the driving experience of that car has been carried through to this car. For me, removing the roof is all about heightening the senses, heightening the driving experience. And it's not just about the car. I think when you take the roof off a car, you have a greater sense of connection with your environment too. So earlier on, we were driving past some sort of mountain walls that have been carved out through the valley. And the resonance, the vibration of the engine bouncing off those rocks back in the cockpit was fantastic. And so today, I'm here to sort of really convey what it's like to enhance an already enhanced car. Based on the 570S platform, incredible car, I would actually go so far as to say that the 600LT right now is probably the best car that McLaren make. In terms of, you know, value for money, they're like the complete package. I put myself on the line when I drove the LT Coupe on the track and said that this car is probably going to be car of the year. Lo and behold, it was. Now, in terms of driver feel, McLaren have gone and enhanced the experience by making the engine mount stiffer, so more vibration comes through the turbo and up through the seat and through your spine, so you have a greater sense of connection with what the engine is doing. The steering weight as well is lovely. McLaren have managed to maintain a hydraulic steering rack in this. Now, combined with stickier tyres, the way that this steering weights up, particularly under load through corners, you have such reassuring feel and feedback, and that allows you to really push on. As I was saying, well, one of the great things is that you can put that rear window back up again, like that, so you can probably hear me a lot better now. And I think that's what's really nice about this car is the extra versatility over the coupe. This thing, you can do just shy of 200 miles an hour with the roof down, which is absurd. And then, of course, if you want the full effect, I've actually found that you get arguably a better sound by dropping just the rear window here. It creates this induction cave where that incredible engine tone and exhaust tone just blasts straight inside this cabin. One of the signature LT features is the whip cracks during upshifts and downshifts. Around about 6,500, 7,000 RPM, you pull on the paddle and you get this incredible whip crack. But my favourite feeling is actually under heavy braking and downshifts. I mean, that front end turn is wonderful, isn't it? And it's playful as well. Look at the difference in sound. The difference in sound once you've got that window up. So, it's not that I would say that the 600LT Coupe sounds bad. Basically, putting all of the windows up, that window and the roof on, basically recreates how it sounds inside the Coupe. I mean, think about how it sounded a second ago with that window down. Not a patch. Not a patch. I mean, really, if you're in the market for a 600LT, unless you wanted the added bit of slight practicality by having the option to throw a few bags in the back, of course, with being able to remove the roof, some element of practicality has been removed, and there's not much of a, in fact, there's a non-existent parcel shelf behind these seats. But But really, that's not what these cars are all about. You can easily road trip this. I mean, I've got bags with me for my 3-day stint here in Arizona, and they fit in fine. So if you were to still use this on a road trip, it'd still be great. But to have the option to do this, let's just witness the difference in sound. It's unbelievable. Seriously, it's worth it for that alone. Let me just put that up again. Same acceleration. It's basically boring, isn't it? I can't actually believe the difference in that. It's ridiculous. But so, the car, I think, over the LT Coupe, before options, is around about 15 grand more. No small change, but in terms of what you're after when you're buying one of these cars, you know, it's not about fuel consumption, it's not about practicality, it's not about how many bags you can fit in from your local supermarket. It's about how many goosebumps it can give you. And this is the Goosebump portal. There we are, enter Goosebumps! What a machine! It's like bonfire night. Look at that! So, let's put this back, the Goosebump shield back up again. So the last time that I drove the LT variation of a McLaren product, things got really expensive. It was somewhat of an epiphany as to what was capable for a road-going supercar. In fact, I think my quote was, "Sell your wife, sell your kids, you need one of these." Well, it just so happens that in the time that I drove the 675LT Spider, I have both a wife and a child. So, if anything, I'm in the running for one of these. Cattle grid. That's the other thing. The brakes are good. Goosebump shield down. Let's get back on it, boys. It's actually ridiculous. I'm not sure if that's doing it justice of just what an absurd difference that is. Like when I stepped out of the LT Coupe, I wasn't exactly left wanting, feeling, yeah, that was a bit of a numb experience. But this, although it's saying Spinal Tap, this one goes to 11. So we are in a Spider after all, and you're probably wondering, yes, but what is it like with the roof down? Well, if you drop this thing to just under 30 miles an hour, conveniently, you can drop the roof while you're moving. Here we go, activation. Not quite as fast as the 720 Spider. That can drop the roof in 11 seconds. This has retained the same roof mechanism as the 570 Spider, so it's only immersing you in this experience in a mere 15 seconds. Anyway, this is what it's like. What's really cool is that these are actually off the Super Series line. So you've got the brakes off, effectively off the 720S here, which means when you're pulling momentum such as what we were doing just now, that's really convenient because it sheds off speed like you've just thrown an anchor into the tarmac. The stopping power actually makes you faster, which is convenient because we're about to head to a racetrack. Okay, seamless transition from road to track. Let's see what this thing is all about. So I had the honor, as I mentioned, of driving the coupe back in the summer. Was blown away by that. Let's see what it's like when you take the roof off the thing. So I know I said on the road earlier that you probably wouldn't be able to hear me when the roof's down, but we've gone and had the boys from McLaren hook up a proper mic so you might be able to still see what I'm saying. So ultimately this shares exactly the same platform with the coupe. 600LT, 600 standing for PS, but actually just means that it's just shy of 600 horsepower. But you'll be happy to hear that with McLaren being the masters of carbon chassis, despite us taking the roof off, it
it is just not compromised at all. It's ride through here, it rides so flat. And the brakes as well. Remember on the road I was saying this is now sharing the brakes from the Super Series cars. So it effectively has 720 brakes on a car that they've already saved 100 kilograms of weight on. And we're pushing down this long straight here, just up to 125 up until the braking point. Flat through these corners here. And this is what's great about the car, even when you use these curbs, it just doesn't skip a beat. Curbs are your friend. And as I'm sure you can see by my hand movements right now, it's a really playful car as well. But I said it when I was in the 600 coupe, as chance would have it, not far behind that car, I was driving the McLaren Senna, and I stepped out of that saying that, dare I say it, I think the 600LT is a more playful car. It's just a more accessible, you know, you don't have to be a proper driver to get the most out of it. It doesn't have as much downforce, but when it lets go, it's really progressive, and the electronics on this are so friendly. I don't have all of the traction off on this, we're just in track and dynamic mode, and when it lets go, it still lets you play enough so that you feel good about yourself, but you kind of know really that underneath a lot of the electronics are doing some work for you. But that's what this car's all about, isn't it? It's about having fun, and I think that's the main point of taking the roof off a car like this. It's not anything more than to enhance the experience. And enhance it does. I still can't believe the difference it makes, just dropping that rear glass. There you go. Massive swell of torque, flying, just flings you out of the apex. Yeah, braking point. And changes that you read on paper, which might not seem like a big deal, translate to a totally different driving experience when you get it on track. For example, having a stiffer master cylinder behind the brake pedal gives you a little bit more of a... Sorry, I'm just having so much fun with this thing. Yeah, stiffer master cylinder on the brakes gives it that, dare I say, race car feel. And the whole chassis balance compared with a standard 570 just sits a lot flatter. Even having stiffer engine mounts has made a greater sense of connection with every upshift and downshift, because you're getting more vibration through this fantastic carbon tub, up through your spine. And you can actually feel those whip cracks when you time it right on the upshifts and downshifts. It's such a wicked experience. An example of just how fast this brand is evolving their cars, that their sports series is up there with their previous gen Super Series cars. Oh, it's absolutely awesome. So all in all, if you watched my first drive on the 600 coupe, it's everything that car was, but you're heightening the sense of theatre and emotion just that little bit more by being able to take off the roof and really feel that extra level of input every time you press your right foot on that pedal. It's so cool. Anyway, I think it's time for a cool down lap. We'll go back to the pits. That is it for my time with the incredible McLaren 600LT Spider. For me, this is the one. This is arguably the best car that McLaren makes. I know they do things like the Senna, but it's such a different bracket in terms of both performance and price that it's just a ludicrous leap. This is accessible, it sounds fantastic, it's incredibly playful, it's amazing on both road and track, and for me, the difference between the coupe and the Spider and why the Spider is the one for me is just that ability. It's not even about taking the roof down. It's about being able to drop that rear glass panel. I cannot get over the transformation between the sound of the Spider and the coupe. It transforms the whole experience. I think we do often underestimate the importance of sound, and with this car, McLaren have really unlocked what this thing is all about. Now, this is my first time driving it. We're out in Arizona. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to get my hands on one of these cars again in the future. If there's anything else that you guys would like to know or see, please let me know in the comments below. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I shall see you next time. Ciao!